Hello Aquarius, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Aquarius for the week of September 12th. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Let's go ahead and let's get a shuffle in here, and then get some tarot cards out. So I am using the Psychic Tarot as well as the Higher Self Affirmation deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. All right. Let's go ahead and make sure we're all set up and in view here. Okay. I think that looks just about good enough to me for right now. We'll go ahead and take 3 of these Higher Self cards here. All right. Put this up here. So, Aquarius, some of you right now are a little bit hung up on time. Okay, time is coming in very clearly here. Because of these two these two cards, the waiting game and the patience and planning card, which we will talk about at length. But it's you're wanting something new, and the time that it will require for this new thing to come in, the time between now and this new thing is causing you to have some sort of distortion or some sort of like rumination. There's like a time distortion going on here, where you see an end game, you see the end game of something, but you're not sure when it will arrive. And time is a very, very challenging construct. It's a human construct, but it's something, obviously, as a human construct, it's something that we all kind of work within, or we kind of feel like we have to work within. The reality is that we don't really need to work within time. It's complicated, but time is just kind of something that we've created, and there are ways to detach from it. Obviously we need to like uphold our jobs. We need to go to appointments. If you have children, you have to like make sure your children get to school and like get to their appointments, and all of those sorts of things work within the construct of time as we know it. But there are ways to detach, and I think that there's something around letting go of the time it will take between where you are now and where this new beginning is coming in. That could really help, but let's go ahead and just dive in here. So in the overall situation, you do have this patience and planning card, which is the 7 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles is all about your long-term situation. There's an element of time that goes along with the 7 of Pentacles. It's something that you've spent a lot of time working on, or the example of the 7 of Pentacles that you can really think about is you've worked for an organization, right? You've had a job for 15 years, and as this is connected to finance and money, because it's a Pentacles card, your retirement accounts have accrued over 15 years, and now you've seen how that has sort of worked out for you or worked in your benefit, right? And there's something here around your long-term situation that is very important. And I think for some of you, there's a real push towards having patience, not just because this says patience and planning, but also because in the past, you have the devil and the 2 of Wands, which is the temptation and the waiting game card. So you can see we have 2 major energies associated with time here. And the thing about the devil is it is a card that can indicate impatience. And so I said that there's this really important message around having patience, around something that you might be like manifesting, around something that you may be sort of putting energy towards. And think back to the times in your life when you've had to like put a lot of time into something, right? And you can probably see how this idea of like slow and steady wins the race really worked out for you. And I think some of you may want to recognize that if you're trying to plant some new type of seed or get started in some new area, there will be some type of, it will take time for that situation to arrive. And the way that you spend the planting of the seed and the growing of the tree, the way that you spend the time in between those two points is up to you. And the way that you spend the time between those 2 points is very important. And so I think that there's something here around waiting on something to grow that is like killing you. It is like absolutely locking you up. And maybe this is a relationship. Maybe something's not moving along as quickly in your relationship. Maybe this is, I think that it's probably related to other areas of your life, because we have wands and pentacles and we have a swords card here. And yeah, I just feel like the message right now in the first 5 cards, we'll get some more details, is good things take time, is what came into my mind when I was reading this. Good things take time. In the future, you have the 5 of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles here. So again, the time between 2 points, planting the seed and seeing the tree grow, is the name of the game for you here. How will you spend the time between planting the seed and seeing the tree grow? Like, how will you most effectively utilize your time and the time between those 2 points and the space in between those 2 points? Because some of you may even be, with this 5 of Swords, this conflict and defeat card, some of you here, you may be like dipping into a negative energy or negative vibration, in that you may think that it's never going to grow, that the tree is never going to grow, but it will, right? You can even see it here in the future. It may just not happen exactly how you think it's going to happen right now. Like, there might be twists and turns along the way, but all of those experiences are something that you can learn from, and you should also be confident in your ability to handle any sort of twist and turn that may be kind of put on your path or maybe put in your way, and be confident that you can be ready to deal with anything that you need to deal with. So let's go ahead and let's get some details on what this might be. So you have the 5 of Wands, you have the 3rd eye chakra, the 6 of Pentacles, and you also have the Hermit. All right, so definitely strong foresight that I feel here. Some of you have a strong foresight in that you can visualize the tree growing. Okay, and remember, this is a metaphor. Some of you attach this, like, try to form this reading around your situation, because for some of you this will be different things. Like, maybe what you're really hoping for is to get married, right? Like, maybe it's like wedding planning, or something like finding a long-term partner, as we have the 7 of Pentacles. For others of you, this is entrepreneurial or something related to career, money situations. There's something that you can see, you have foresight on this situation, whatever situation you find yourself in. You can see the outcome. The thing is, right now, the outcome is not here. And what I would say is continue visualizing success, because visualization is very important. I say this because you have this 3rd eye chakra, which is your spiritual vision. This 3rd eye chakra is right in between the eyebrows, and it connects to your spiritual vision, your ability to know. It is your knowingness, it is your intuition, it is your psychic energy. Yes, all of those things are psychic, and yes, everybody is quote unquote psychic. There's just so strange, humans have attached a strange meaning to the word psychic, but we all have intuitions, and we can all see in the future. And some of you have a strong ability to see something. You have strong foresight. into an outcome. You have this Five of Wands here. The obstacle for you is time. Okay, it's the waiting game. This is the obstacle for you. For some of you, it's detaching on how and when it's going to happen, and just recognizing that it will happen. You have the material and spiritual prosperity as well as the Hermit card. I love this card for you. This person has found out, they figured it out, which is that life is not just about money. Life is also about experiences. Life is about other things. And the Six of Pentacles is like a really nice balance of the material world, the spiritual world, and other areas of your life, and not being too heavy in one area or the other, but creating a balance, taking a balanced approach to those areas of your life. It can also just indicate like charitable giving, but I just feel like this is about some sort of balance between how do I say this? Like I'm really just trying not to repeat myself, but it makes sense. Balancing out the time that you spend between planting the seed and seeing the tree grow. Like how will you spend that time? You have the Hermit card, which is solitude. It is possible that some of you need to reflect on this attachment to time and this attachment to the outcome happening when you feel like it's going to happen, and just ask yourself why you do have that attachment. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at these 3 oracle cards here. Okay, so you have healing. I am insourcing healing to my powerful mind, body, spirit. Know thyself, heal thyself, love thyself. You have discernment. I know what to pick up and what to let go. Just because you could doesn't mean you should. I love this card. And then you also have connection. I connect most deeply through my humanity. Here to be human. Isn't that interesting that we got these cards? I really resonate for you around this idea of just because you could doesn't mean you should energy. And yeah, I think some of you may even want to ponder that idea. Just because you could doesn't mean you should. Let's go ahead and start to get some more details here. If you're enjoying this video so far, please do hit that like button and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow in a big way. So you have the Two of Cups, you have the Three of Wands, and you also have the Star card. Okay, so the Two of Cups is, for some of you, like I've said, this is a connection that you're hoping, like you have some sort of expectation or attachment to a relationship or a connection here, and the way that this is supposed to play out, and the time associated with that. Like maybe you're ready for marriage, but the other person isn't, or the other person's ready for marriage and you're not, just as an example. Or you're ready to move in to an apartment together, but they're not, and so forth and so on, right? There's something around this that's happening. For some of you, though, this is about other connections with the Partnerships and Alliances card, which is the Three of Wands. Any 3 in tarot can represent other people here, but typically for me, the Three of Wands is more about growth and expansion and kind of taking something to the next level. Some of you are like ready to hit go on something. You're ready to press the red button and launch something, right? Like go on something. And I will say, this idea of just because you could doesn't mean you should energy is I think very important about that, right? Like I almost feel like some of you want to make sure you have all your ducks in a row, you have everything that you need before you launch. Okay, I can't tell you what to do, and you need to do what's best for you, but you're wanting the tree to be fully grown and in bloom now, when there may be some more watering that needs to happen, or there needs to be some experiences that need to come in before that fully kind of comes in for you. You do have this Star card in the future, which is a very good sign of hope, optimism, and healing for the future. It's a big card of wishes being granted and wishes coming true in your life. It's a very, very positive energy. It's one of my favorite cards in the tarot. You have Justice and the Two of Swords. So balance and mental conflict. So the conflict for you is time. I know I sound like a broken record, but this is just confirmation after confirmation. around whatever this is that you've been thinking about as I've been talking. It's looking to create harmony between your inner world and the outer world that is happening for you right now. Because this card, this mental conflict card, obviously you have the conflict and defeat, obstacles and challenges, mental conflict. All of these three cards can indicate conflicts in different forms, maybe an external conflict, but also maybe an internal conflict, also maybe a mental conflict. For some of you, this attachment that you have is causing you to have some sort of discomfort. And I think that there's a real push here for you to create harmony from the inside out. And again, I can't tell you how that looks or how that will happen. You have to figure that out for you if this message is resonating. But I think creating harmony internally and externally is super, super important for you at this time. It always is, but I definitely feel like it's important based on this reading. Wow, yeah, at the top of the pyramid, you have the root chakra or the base chakra here. That does not surprise me, okay? This is about your grounding. The root chakra is about your grounded, the way that you feel grounded in the world. It is your basic needs, your root level needs, food, shelter, water, your bare essentials, the things that you need to feel safe and to feel comforted in the world. And some of you are too high in the air. Some of you are too high in the air. And you can't even make this up. You have the crown chakra on the bottom, which is literally, so the root chakra, the base chakra, is at your feet or at the base of your spine, and the crown chakra is above your head. And so this is like your spiritual download or your spiritual receiving center. This is where like synchronicities come in. This is where spiritual insights come in. And the root chakra, which is at the base of your spine, you could think of it as your feet, but it's like at the base of the spine. This is the tree trunk. Okay, so this is the tree trunk. This is the top of the tree. Isn't that crazy? This is the tree trunk. This is the top of the tree. And so for some of you, you're really kind of like, you're too much in the air at this time. And I would say that there's something that requires grounding here. And this is what an incredible way to end this reading, because I think that some of you could really benefit from maybe even doing some research on these two chakras and the way that they connect. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next reading.